A guy named Harry, who was on drugs, once again took the only valuable item out of the house, his mother's TV set. His friend Tyrone was waiting for him in the entrance, and under the public view of the women at the entrance, they took the zombie TV to the market, for which they barely got $20. Welcome. Today we're going to watch the movie Requiem for a Dream. Chapter Summer. After having enjoyed a lot, the guys decided that they could become bargainers themselves, buying in bulk, stirring, and selling. Usually they hung out at Harry's girl named Marion's house, whose parents had bought an apartment, but when they found out that their favorite daughter had gotten involved with drugs, they made her go to a psychiatrist for sessions, promising to deprive her of her property for non-compliance. The girl made a deal with the doctor, and instead of boring visits, they occasionally met in a restaurant. After a while, the boys took the first batch. First, of course, they tasted the product. After all, it is necessary to know in what proportions to dilute. Harry and Marion go to the roof of a building. It's their secret date place, and then leave without getting caught by the workers. They are deeply in love with each other and try not only to spend every second together, but also can't get enough of each other's beauty. A couple in love look into each other's eyes and confess their deepest feelings, promising to love each other forever as well as being together. Harry often has a dream where he is on the pier running to Marion, but as he runs up, she disappears. Business slowly picked up, and over the rest of the summer, they filled a shoebox with money. Harry and Marion were saving money to open their own clothing store, where Marion would work as a designer. She had long been into fashion and came up with a variety of outfits, and the boyfriend really liked her work. Harry had not been home for over 2 months and decided to visit his mother. And since he already had money, he wanted to make her a present. Harry's mom, Sarah Summer, started with her own son stealing a TV set. She once again went to the market to buy her favorite item. The vendor asked why she wouldn't report it to the police so Harry could at least be talked to, but the woman said she couldn't because it was her son. The woman couldn't spend a day without her zombie box, her favorite TV show about weight loss and sweets. One day, she got a call that she would be on a very famous television show in the near future and would soon receive a letter in the mail with an application form and information. She was so excited that she immediately went to look for her favorite dress, which to her regret she could not fit into. A friend recommended a sugar-free diet on eggs and grapefruit alone. Finally came a letter with a request form which was filled out and sent by the whole yard. Now it is necessary to wait for the answer with approval. The first day of the diet was extremely hard. The fridge was beckoning with its forbidden goodies. Late in the evening, she called a friend who recommended a certain doctor prescribing pills that do not want to eat. After visiting the doctor and taking the pills, she really didn't feel like eating. She had a lot of energy, even too much. She cleaned the whole apartment and gritted her teeth watching her favorite TV show. Time passed, but the letter never came. When her son arrived and pleased her mother about the imminent delivery of a new TV set, she lost 12 pounds. Harry immediately noticed too fussy behavior and realized that mom was on some wheels. But she didn't want to hear anything about her pills, because now that she was alone, she had a dream of putting on a dress and going on a TV show. Tyrone was shopping for another large shipment, but they were interrupted by the driver, who lowered the partition in the limo and shot everyone he could. Chapter Autumn. Tyrone didn't get hit, and he managed to escape, falling right into the cops' hands. But they didn't hold him for long. He learned that there was a war going on between the gangs where he had coincidentally found himself and where almost all of their invested money had been lost. Things were going very badly. No new shipments were coming in, and everyone wanted to get high, especially Marion. The box of money had been completely wasted. Somehow, Tyrone had given Harry some news before Christmas. Allegedly, someone was driving a truck across the country and selling illegal drugs, but at double the price. Harry talked to Marion, who was madly eager to try it, about getting $2,000. She couldn't take any more from her parents. The only way out was that nasty doctor whom she'd wanted to stick a fork in his hand at meetings. But she'd held herself back, and then restrained herself for a long time while he groped her, kissed her, and so on. Anyway, she got the money. On the appointed day, the guys went to the store's warehouse to make a purchase. But suddenly, one of the junkies shot from a gun, which caused the guard of the dealer to shoot back, and everyone ran away, and the truck drove to Florida. The guys decided that they would follow it and try to buy from them in Florida, which is about 1,500 miles away. When Harry came to Marion with nothing, she did not hold back and said everything she thought of him with insults and swear words. She had to go through bed with the vile man, and he can't get dope. Harry knew who she could get the dope from, but he didn't take money. He took it in kind, so he gave Marion his number. Sarah's autumn was not a pleasant one either. It started with the fact that the usual doses of medicine did not give her any more activity and energy. Her head was all jumbled up. The refrigerator was also bouncing from time to time, which scared Sarah a lot. She went to the doctor, but he said everything was fine. Here's a new prescription. Come back in a week. Sarah began to eat 2 or even 3 pills. After that, the strength to watch the TV show appeared, and she plunged back into this world, where she was already invited to the scene and all the audience applauded her. Except that the damn refrigerator was interfering with watching, and Sarah was shoving pill after pill into herself. It got to the point where the character transferred into the room. Soon, the presenter joined in. They started laughing at Sarah, along with the entire audience. The woman found herself in the middle of the set. The refrigerator kept coming closer and closer. Then everyone around her started repeating the same phrase, "Feed me, Sarah." She couldn't stand it and ran outside in terror. Chapter Winter. The guys borrowed a car from an acquaintance and drove towards Florida. They had a dose each, and Tyrone only just now saw Harry's arm, which was blackened and sore horribly. But the guy stuck the syringe into the rotting flesh anyway. When Marion found out Harry was gone for a few days, she couldn't take it anymore and called that number. A man named Little John met her. They had a drink and the girl set about working for her future pleasure. The next day, the pain was so bad that Harry begged to be taken to the hospital. The doctor saw the hole in his arm and immediately guessed everything. Soon, the boys were picked up by the police and put on compulsory labor. Harry did receive medical attention a little later, though, in the form of an amputated limb. Harry called Marion from the hospital. He told her about everything that had happened to him recently. Exactly in this call, the heroes realized that they will never be the same again. They will never be able to return the carefree relationship that they had before. Understanding this, Harry says goodbye to Marion forever. Marion came in for another dose, even though Little John had warned there would be an orgy. A bunch of men gathered and a few junkies were doing all sorts of outrageous things. Soon Marion joined them. Sarah was in a mental institution after her trip to the TV center, where she tried to prove to everyone that she would soon be the main contestant on the show. She hadn't eaten anything except pills since the summer. They tried force, feeding her, but it didn't work very well. They even tried it through the nose. Eventually, she was tortured with electricity. So I didn't understand what for, by the way. Write in the comments, who knows? And Sarah was still flying around in her world where she's at a show with her son and everyone around them is applauding. They're all curled up in the fetal position. This pose shows defenselessness and a desire to abstract themselves from the world. Or they just want to be born again so that their lives are no longer a nightmare in reality. Great movie propaganda against intoxicants, where summer is euphoria, autumn is withdrawal, and winter is the aftermath. Or it can be interpreted as follows. Summer is blossoming, autumn is wilting, winter is death, where there is no spring, rebirth, and the meaning of the movie most likely is the struggle of man and drug, where these characters lost this struggle, having sunk to the very social bottom. Write your opinion about this movie in the comments, click likes, subscribe to the channel, and see you later.